Hey everyone, this is my third day working with heifer, so I'm just gonna put the stuff on her while she's tied and just see how it goes. Hey girl. I'm gonna let her see it again. Good girl. It's a little squirmy, so I'm just gonna take it off and just put it back on. Good girl, and that was better. I'm gonna have her scoot over to throw the saddle on. Whoa. Now let her see it. That was good. I'll take that. Her skin jumped a little bit, but she didn't try to move. Good girl. Now I'm just gonna treat her like I would any finished horse. I'm not gonna think about her doing anything. I'm just gonna do it. Good girl. Good girl. And it's alright if she turns her head to look at what I'm doing. Good girl. Good girl. She's doing good. She's just standing here. She's not tied tight. Good girl. Alright, so now I'm gonna lunge her. I lunged her last time I worked with her, so I'm just gonna see if she remembers anything. Good girl. Here, she pulled on me a little bit. Walk. And it's okay if she puts her head down, because I want her to want to carry her head low. She's quite a bit calmer today, which is good. I'm just going to let her walk for a little bit. I want her to stay walking though. I don't want her to stop unless I ask her to. gonna give her just a little more room. Get out. I want her to stay at the end of that. I don't want her coming into me. I'm gonna go ahead and have her trot. Trot. Good girl. Yeah, she didn't like me swinging the whip. I'm just gonna ignore it. She went on and did what I was asking her. Good girl. That time I didn't have to ask as much. She just wants to slow down right there. I want her to keep going the pace that I've asked her to go until I have her slow back down. She's keeping one ear towards me, which means she's still paying attention to me, even if she is looking around a little bit. Good girl. There, all I had to do was click. She's pulling on me a little bit, so I'm going to tug her. There, I didn't even have to tell her to go faster. She just kept going her pace. Walk. I'm going to ask her to slow down. Good girl. Good girl. There, she turned her head into me. I'm going to give her a chance to come in on her own. She's thinking about it. I'm just going to go ahead and pull her a little bit. Good girl. Good girl. I'm going to loosen up her halter a little bit. And then I'll take her the other way. Alright, so now I'm going to have her go the other way. Good girl. I'm going to do the same thing on this side as I did the other side. I'm going to have her walk for a little bit, and then I'm going to ask her to I'm going to ask her to trot and then come back down to a walk. Walk. When she tries to go faster, I'm just going to bump her and tell her to walk. She's found a comfortable spot to hold her head. And that's a good spot. Good girl. Get out. There, she came in a little bit. And she went out right when I asked her. Trot. Trot. Good girl. She still wants to stop right there, so I'm just gonna make sure she keeps going. I'm gonna give her a chance to go on her own without me having to urge her on. But if she looks like she's gonna stop, then I'm just gonna go ahead and ask her to keep going. And I ask with my voice first, and the whip is second, because it's just an extension of my hand. Good girl. I think it's a little harder for her to go to the right, which is understandable. Everyone has their good and bad side, and I think the right side is her bad side. So, So I'm just going to do a little bit more to her right side, make her a little bit more flexible to the right. She's just a little bit more stiff. Good girl. There, I didn't have to get after her at all to keep trotting. Walk. Walk. Good girl. Good girl. I'm gonna see if she'll come to me. She's thinking about it. I don't want her playing with the line. She's licking her lips, so that's good. There, I'm gonna ask her to come into me. Good girl. Good girl. Now I'm going to have her go the other way again, but instead of just a slow trot, I'm going to ask her to extend it some more. I want to get every speed on her in the lunge. That way, if she has anything goofy that she's going to do, then I'll know kind of what to expect, or if she does it, I'll go ahead and punish her for it. I'm going to always start her out walking because I don't want her to think that every time she's put out on the line, she has to just go. Lunging ain't always a fast-paced kind of work. Walk. I'm just going to bumper her back down to the walk. I want her to wait for my signal. Trot. Trot. Good girl. I'm just going to ask her to keep that faster pace. She wants to slow down there right on top of the hill. She don't like having to keep on working. It's good to get a good extension on her. It'll teach her how to just step out and move on. And she pulled on me a little bit, so I jerked on her. There, she listened to just clicking, so she's paying attention. She likes to pull a little bit more right there. Walk. Good girl. Get out. The release is the reward. So when she does it the way I want her to, I'm just going to let her calm back down to a walk. She's watching me to see when she can come in. Walk, walk, walk. Good girl. And she don't really know what I'm asking of. I want her to just keep walking and wait until I tell her that she can come in. And I'm liking her having her nose to the ground. She's very relaxed. Good girl. There she started looking at another horse, so I just turned her head right back. I'm going to have her come in. Good girl. Good girl. I'm going to have her do the same thing on the other side. Gonna have her walk for a little bit and then do a faster trot, get her good and extended. I like how relaxed she is. That's just the kind of mindset she has. But I also want her to be able to get up and go when she's asked. Trot. Trot. There, she went into it easier. Just going to go ahead and urge her on a little faster. This is fast enough. She's having to think about keeping her pace. It's good to have them think. You just don't want to push it too far. Babies don't have the biggest attention span. She can still hold her head low while she's trotting faster. I want her to be comfortable with her head down, going all different kinds of speeds. Walk. Walk. Good girl. There, I let her walk because when I clicked her on, she listened to just the click. And she was holding that faster pace good. Good girl. Every time I have her stop and turn her head, she keeps just a little bit more of her attention on me. I don't want her playing with that. Now she's got an itchy face. Good Good girl. She kind of hesitated coming to me, so I'm just going to give her a lot of praise. Good girl. Good girl. Now I'm just going to walk off and leave the whip there. I don't need it. Just going to walk off and let her follow me. There, she bumped me a little bit. She just wasn't paying attention. I'm just going to have her back up. She's not in trouble for it. She just needs to pay a little bit more attention to me. Well, good girl. That was really good. I'm going to give her a chance to follow me without signal. And when she don't, that's when I click to her or give her a little pull. She's just not too sure about it. Well, good girl. And it could be the line getting blown around, which is fine. She needs to get used to it. Well, good girl. There, she stopped right at my shoulder, and that's what I like. To be by my shoulder or right behind me. And she's showing that she trusts me enough for me to be the leader by following me around. Well, stopping when I stop. And she's still giving me my space. Right now she's showing a lot of trust and respect for me. And as long as she has respect for me, then I'll have it for her. Yep. So I just walked away and she followed me over here. So I'm just going to walk away again, and there, she's a little distracted. I'm just going to grab her attention back. It's okay to be curious, but right now I need her attention on me. Good girl. I'm going to give her a chance to just walk up to me. She's kind of looking the other way, so I'll just step in, give her a little tug. Good girl. Good girl. And for her to just follow me even a few steps without a lead rope or anything in my hand, I think that's really good. So now I'm just going to have her walk a little circle around me. And I was bumping her when I was lunging her to slow her down. Because I want her to know that when I get on her and I bump her, that she has to slow down or stop. Well, and even turn. Because if you give them a solid pressure to push against, they will push against it. So I bump instead. That way they can't just push right against your pressure. Well, and I want her to turn her head. Good girl. Because when you can get their head turned, it disengages their back end. So they can't do as much if their head's turned. It kind of gives you more power than what they've got at the moment. Ooh. And I'll start off tugging easy, and good girl. If she pushes against it, then I'm just gonna pull a little harder. I want her to know that when I tug on her, she's supposed to stop or slow down. If I'm saying whoa, of course I want her to stop. Well, there, she did good. Even came to me. Good girl. So I'm just going to do that a few times on each side. Just to kind of get the point around. Good girl. She already knows that signal a little bit. She did it on the lunge line really good. Well, there, as soon as I started to pull on her, she started to turn her head. I want the fastest reaction that she can give me. Get off. Where she needs to be is when she feels a slight pressure, she turns her head. Whoa. And that was really good. Good girl. I just barely pulled on her. It's okay if she puts her head down, but I don't want her trying to sneak a bite of grass. Whoa. Even with her head down, she still listened. She went ahead and turned all the way to me. Good girl, and she's licking her lips. Now I'm just gonna have her bend her head because I want her to be flexible enough that I can pull her head around. Good girl. She's very flexible with her neck. Good girl. She reached all the way back and touched my hand. I'll just do this a few times. Just get her real nice and soft. Good girl. And I'm not having to pull much at all. Just a little bit of a pull, and then she comes the rest of the way. When she moves her feet, I'll just hold the pressure. Good girl. I'll just hang my lead rope around the horn just to get out of the way. Good girl. Good girl. She's not as flexible on this side. That's okay. We'll work on it and she'll get there. Good girl. Always give big praises for the good. Good girl. There she reached. Alright, so now I'm just going to check her girth. It's a little loose. I'll tighten it a little bit because I'm going to stand up in the stirrup and let her just feel the weight on her back again. I'm going to keep her head turned. That way I've got control of her body. And she's fighting it a little bit because I'm keeping the pressure, which that's okay. She's not used to constant pressure yet. And she's not liking it a whole lot, so I'm just going to stand here and until she calms down. Good girl. I'm going to bounce around a little bit. She didn't like it, so I'm just going to turn her head again until she stands still. Good girl. And that's why I hold their face. All she could do was a circle until I let loose enough to get my foot out. She ain't liking it. I'm going to stay here as long as I can, safely. Good girl. There she stopped. I'm going to give her a lot of praise. Good girl. I'm going to do it again. Good girl. I'm going to let her have her head for a second. She gave good. It's a lot for them to hold their head in one position for a while. There, she's pulling a little bit, so I'm just going to hold her a little tighter. Good girl. I jump a little bit. She don't really like it again, so I'm just going to keep doing it. Good girl. She's more relaxed there. Whoa. I'm going to stay right here as long as I can. Good girl. I want her to know that she won't be getting away just because she's trying to walk. There, good girl. Now I'm going to do it to the other side. I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to ask her to give me her head. She's fighting a little bit again. It's harder for her on this side. I'll just stick my foot up there. your head away, so I'm just going to hold her here. Good girl. Now I'm going to just bounce a little bit. She's a little better on this side. She kind of knew what to expect. There, she didn't like it. I jumped higher, so I just hold her tighter. And I'll just do it again. Good girl. Good girl. Now I'll let her have her head. Good girl. There, she's wanting to hang it low. Just stretch her neck back out. Just gonna walk her a few little circles. Just let her stop thinking for a second. Now I'm just gonna do it again. Gonna bounce up a little higher on her, just like I would if I were to jump on her. Good girl. Good girl. There, I'm above her. She don't know what to think. Gonna hold her. Good girl. Now come down. Oh, she wasn't sure about that coming down. Just gonna turn her head again. Gonna just make her stand here with her head turned till she gives to me. Good. Just a little bit of a give, but I'll take it. Just licking her lips. Gonna do that again. Just hold the pressure. Good girl. Good girl. She's sniffing at me, and that's okay. She's figuring me out. I'm above her. Horses can't see right above their head. It's what makes them prey. Gonna hold her. She's trying to wiggle her head away from me. Good girl. Now I'll come down. Good girl. Alright, so I walked her around a little bit, let her stretch her neck, so I'm going to do everything I did on that side on this side. Yeah, and it's a little harder for her, and that's alright. She'll get more flexible. Her skin jumped right there because the toe of my boot hit her. Good girl. There, she's a little calmer about me above her. Good girl. Not that short enough, but she's standing here. Good. Good girl. There, horse and age. She's shaking her head a little bit. Thinking about moving. There she goes. Just gonna hold her. Good girl. Now come back down. I won't take my foot out until she stands here. I'll just jump back up on her. Good girl. Just gonna keep holding the pressure. Good girl. I'll come back down. There, she pulled quite a bit, so I'm just gonna bring her head right back around. And we'll just do that again. Good girl. It's the coming back down off of her that she ain't too sure about. Good. That was good. I'm just going to let her stretch her neck out for a minute. It's a lot of work on her mind and her muscles in her neck, keeping it turned. Ain't going to let her eat because she's working right now. Good girl. Give her a lot of praise. Alright, so I let her have a break and just let her chill out for a little bit. So I'm just going to do it again. My goal is for her to just stand here and not even think about moving when I'm acting like I'm going to get on her or when I do get on her. I want her to just be nice and relaxed the whole time. And this is a lot for her today, but she's showing me she can handle it. There, I was just tightening her head up. Good girl. Hair just got really windy. It's good, she's staying calm. The wind don't bother her. Good girl. There she turning her head on me. Just gonna do it again. There, she's kind of running away from me, so I'm just gonna keep pressure on her face. Good girl. Good girl. It's the longer I'm on her, the more impatient she gets. She's probably waiting for me to do something, but she needs to learn some patience. Good girl. Now just top off. Good girl. Let her have her head for a second. You're not eating. And I'll do it to the other side. Good girl. There, she didn't even move when I put my foot up in the stirrup. She's good. Good girl. I'll pet her for doing good. She's standing real nice and relaxed. I'm just going to push the time a little bit on her. There, she's thinking about moving. I'm just going to hold her. Good. She gave a lot right there. Good girl. She waited until I released her to take that step to even out. Good girl. Good girl. I think that's where we'll call it a day on her. Good girl. Now I'm just going to untack her. And I'll start by undoing the breast collar. And I'll just let it fall down to her side. Now I'll undo the girth. I always do the front cinch first. That way the back cinch ain't dangling right next to their back legs. And I do that with all my horses, not just the young ones or the green ones. I try to let that fall easy. That way if it does swing and hit her leg, it ain't gonna hurt her. Always tie this back up to keep it neat and off the ground. There, when I let go of the back cinch, the front cinch laid across her leg. That's why I do it easy. I'll just throw this right over. Good girl. I always throw everything over the saddle so it doesn't get tangled up in my feet or be dragging the ground. Good girl. And I'll just give her a quick brush down just to let her know she did good and get some of the sweat spots off. She didn't sweat much today, but she did a little bit. Just really do it where the saddle was sitting. Good girl. Always get where the girth was, because that's where they sweat the most at. And right on the bottom of their neck, they sweat with the breast collar. Good girl.